Attention, passionate Dallas Cowboys fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East, and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Dallas Cowboys' path to another championship run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before we dive in, if you're a true Dallas Cowboys fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and fellow Dallas Cowboys fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, when we talk about the Dallas Cowboys, we're always looking at their strategic moves, their roster, and the potential shakeups that could come as the NFL trade deadline approaches. But this time, the buzz is not just about who's on the roster, but about a potential bidding war that could reshape the NFC East's landscape. And it's all centered around a player that, until recently, was considered a core part of the Miami Dolphins' defensive front. That player is Jalen Phillips, a pass rusher whose name has been ringing loudly in NFL circles, especially among the Cowboys and the Eagles, two teams that are desperately looking to bolster their pass rush ahead of the stretch run. But before we get into the specifics of this intriguing story, let us set the scene a little. The Miami Dolphins, after a tough season start that saw them slip to a 2-7 record with that humiliating Thursday night football loss to the Baltimore Ravens, made a significant decision. They mutually agreed to part ways with their longtime general manager, Chris Grier. Now, this might seem like just another front office shuffle, but in the NFL, it's often a sign of a team shifting strategies, especially when it comes to trading assets, rebuilding, or retooling the roster. And in the case of the Dolphins, the departure of Grier has sparked a much stronger belief that they're going into full-blown sell mode at the trade deadline. That's right, folks, this is a team that's likely to move some key pieces to rebuild for the future, and Jalen Phillips sits right at the top of the list of trade candidates. Now, why all the fuss about Phillips? Well, if you've been paying attention to NFL insiders and analysts, you've probably heard Ian Rappaport from NFL Network mentioning that Phillips is drawing significant interest from not just one, but two NFC East rivals. That's right, both the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys are reportedly interested in acquiring the Dolphins' star pass rusher. And this isn't just idle speculation. It's rooted in real strategic moves by both teams, who are actively looking to upgrade their pass rushing units. Let us break down what this could mean for the Cowboys first. Dallas, as we know, has been trying to get more pressure on opposing quarterbacks all season long. They've got a solid front, but they've been missing that game-changing pass rusher who can consistently get after the quarterback and create chaos in the backfield. Phillips, with his explosiveness and pass rushing skills, fits the bill perfectly. According to sources, Dallas might be looking at Phillips as a rental, someone they can plug in now and potentially have for 2025 to replace or even complement their existing pass rushers. It's not quite like their blockbuster trade when they acquired Micah Parsons at the end of August, but make no mistake, adding Phillips would send a clear message that the Cowboys are serious about contending this year and beyond. On the other side, we have the Philadelphia Eagles, who have been closely linked to Phillips in recent days. The Eagles, of course, are perennial contenders, and their interest in Phillips makes perfect sense, especially considering their recent defensive struggles and the need for more pass rush talent. But what's really interesting here is the potential reunion angle. Former Dolphins defensive coordinator Vic Fangio, who's now in Philadelphia, had success working with Phillips in Miami. The idea of Fangio working his magic again, this time with Phillips in an Eagles uniform, adds a layer of intrigue and urgency to their pursuit. It's not just about acquiring a talented pass rusher. It's about reuniting with a player they believe can make a real difference in their defense. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Both teams, Dallas and Philadelphia, have shown a willingness to make bold moves at the trade deadline. Jerry Jones, the Cowboys owner, and Howie Roseman, the Eagles general manager, are both known for their aggressive approach when it comes to building winning rosters. And with both teams interested in Phillips, we could see a bidding war unfold, driving up the price. Miami, on its end, has been asking for at least a third-round pick for Phillips, which is a fair price considering his talent and potential. The Dolphins, after Grier's departure, seem to be more active sellers than ever before, holding out for the best offer and waiting to see how much both NFC East rivals are willing to bid. This kind of bidding war could benefit the Dolphins significantly. As the deadline nears, both Dallas and Philadelphia might get into a fierce competition, raising the stakes and the value of the trade. It's a classic NFL scenario, teams desperate for a piece, a team holding firm on its asking price, and the race to the finish line to get that player before the deadline closes. and the beauty of it all for Cowboys fans. Phillips would be a solid rental to help them contend immediately, especially as a replacement or complement to guys like Parsons, and potentially serve as a building block for 2025. It's the kind of move that could lift the entire defense and make Dallas even more formidable in the NFC. But it's not just about Dallas. The Eagles, too, see Phillips as a game changer. The reunion with Fangio, the strategic fit, and the desire to bolster their pass rush all make Phillips an appealing target. And with both Jerry Jones and Howie Roseman more than willing to make bold moves, the trade could become a reality if the price is right. Miami has the leverage here, given their asking price and the potential for a bidding war. The Dolphins could sit back and wait as the deadline approaches, watching both NFC East teams raise their offers, which could ultimately mean a more lucrative deal for Miami. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. What does this mean for the Cowboys' future? Well, if they manage to land Phillips, it sends a strong message. They all in on competing this year and preparing for the long haul. Phillips, with his explosiveness and pass-rushing ability, could be the missing piece that elevates their defense to new heights. Plus, it's a strategic move that aligns with Dallas's recent trend of aggressive roster building. They're not afraid to swing big, and if they can secure Phillips before the deadline, it could be a game changer in their quest for another Super Bowl run. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys faithful, it's important to remember that this potential move isn't just about a short-term fix. It's about building a defense that can consistently pressure the quarterback, disrupt timing, and give the offense more opportunities to shine. With Phillips on board, the Cowboys' pass rush could become one of the league's most feared. And that kind of dominance is precisely what it takes to reach that elusive Super Bowl stage. And let us not forget the Cowboys have a history of making bold moves at the deadline, whether it's acquiring key players or trading assets to improve the roster. This trade, if it happens, would fit perfectly within that tradition. And what about the other side, the Dolphins? Well, after Grier's exit, they clearly in a rebuilding mode. Phillips is a prime trade chip, and if they can extract a good draft pick or two, it helps them set the stage for the future. Miami's asking price, as reported, is at least a third-round pick, and given the interest from both NFC East rivals, they might even hold out for more as the deadline approaches. It's a smart strategy. Raise the stakes, and get the most value for player they're willing to move. Plus, with the Dolphins in a bit of a transitional phase, moving Phillips makes sense to clear space and rebuild with draft capital. Now, as we look ahead, the big question is, will this trade actually happen? Well, with both the Cowboys and Eagles showing serious interest, and Miami holding firm on their asking price, the stage is set for a dramatic bidding war. It's a classic NFL deadline scenario: teams desperate for help, a team holding the cards, and a race against time to get the player they believe can change everything. If you're a Cowboys fan, you should be rooting for this to come together, because Phillips could be that difference maker on defense that propels Dallas to new heights. And if you're an Eagles supporter, the reunion angle and the strategic fit make this a move you'd love to see happen. In the end, it's a fascinating storyline that encapsulates everything we love about NFL trade season drama, strategy, and the race to build the ultimate roster. And for the Dallas Cowboys, it's a chance to make a bold statement, to show that they're not just contenders, but serious contenders who are willing to go the extra mile to secure that elusive Super Bowl. Keep an eye on this story, folks, because as the deadline approaches, things are about to heat up, and this bidding war could very well turn into one of the most exciting moments of the season. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Dallas Cowboys news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let's continue with the big reveal. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What is your take on this potential bidding war for Jalen Phillips? Do you think the Cowboys should go all in and make that move? Or do you believe the Dolphins should hold out for a higher price? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cowboys. Remember, this is a community. Your insights, your predictions, your takes, that's what makes this channel special. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more news, and more deep dives into everything Dallas Cowboys. So stay tuned, keep the passion alive, and let us see how this story unfolds as the NFL trade deadline draws nearer. Thanks for being here, Cowboys Nation.